Hey guys, today we are going to talk about another way that data is collected from people. Data is collected generally using categories. So what I'll point out to you is that on a lot of surveys, it doesn't say state your age. What it does is it gives ranges of ages for you to choose from. So for example, this particular survey was only given to adults between 21 and 55, and you could see how many people checked each category. So we had 11 people that were between 21 and 25, 14 people between 26 and 30, etc. But if we want to know the measures of center for that data, so the mean, median, and mode, how do we treat that? Because we don't have a number, we have a range of numbers. So how do we approach this? The way we approach this is we consider what is called the midpoint of the range. So if you look at the range of 21 to 25-year-olds, since we don't know if, let's say, all of 11 of them are 21, or maybe all 11 of them are 25, or perhaps they're all spread out, we are just going to take our best guess and consider them all 23 years old. The more people that are surveyed, the more this will be true, unless the data is very odd or very specific to a certain group of people. But you just take the midpoint, and that will represent that group of people. So the midpoint of the age range, 21 to 25, is going to be 23. This midpoint between 26 and 30, the number that's halfway between 26 and 30, is 28. And then the midpoint between 31 and 35, the number that's halfway in between those numbers, is 33, etc. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the midpoints for these other ranges of ages. Now, fx represents you multiplying the frequency of those ages times the midpoint. Now, the reason you would calculate fx is to find the median. So if we wanted to find the median, we would find the mean. So to find the mean, we basically would take 11 times 23, because we have 11 people we're treating as 23. Plus, then we take 14 times 28, because there's 14 people we are treating as 28. This is to calculate the mean or the average of the data, and you just keep going. But one way to organize your data better is to calculate fx, which is the product or the result from multiplying the frequency times the midpoint. And you can see that we do that in this formula. We take 11 times 23 plus 14 times 28, but this just builds that into the table. So with your calculators, you can multiply 11 times 23 and you get 253. And then you multiply 14 times 28 and you get 392. So again, this is going to help us find the mean of the data. 32 times 33 is 1056. And then we have 1026 for the next row, 1247, 816, and then 371. And so what this does is it builds in finding this value 11 times 23 into the table. And so then a formula for mean is the following. It is the sum of fx over the sum of f. In other words, the total sum over the number of data points. But in terms of this particular setup, it's the sum, that's what that sigma represents, sum of fx, so adding all these up, in which case we get 5,161, adding all those up. And because that's everyone's ages added together. If we added up 23 11 times, 28 14 times, etc., we would get 5161. And then we have to divide that by the total number of people we talk to. So the total number of people we talk to is the sum of the frequencies. So the sum of the frequencies is going to be adding these numbers up. And that's just adding up all the people that they gave the survey to. And so that's 137 people. So the mean is then 5161 divided by 137. So that is 37.6 years old, or what is called our median class is the class or the category that that would fall in. So what that means is this age is right here in our range of people. So that means the average age of the people surveyed, we'll say the average age of the surveyed is 36 to 40 years old. So this is the class of people that has the median age. So I'm sorry, the mean age. So the mean age is 37.6 years old, which is in this class of people, 36 to 40-year-old. And so that's the average, 37.6 years old. So that's how we do it. We create this little chart. Again, the midpoint is halfway in the category. And then fx is just multiplying the frequency times the midpoint. We add those up to get the sum of everyone's age, and then divide it by the number of people that we had surveyed, which was 137. And that finds us the mean of all the people's ages. And so that is how we find the mean if you don't know the exact ages. You just know a category. So if we take a look at this, we know our mode is going to be between 31 and 35. This is our mode, because that's where the most of the people, the majority of the people responded in 31 to 35. So that is our mode. You'll notice that's the highest number that got the most clicks on the survey, is this age range 31 to 35. So that's the mode. And to find the median, we would have to basically get rid of these two columns of the table and come up with a cumulative frequency column, and do that like we did for the class age data. Okay, but mainly with this data, we're just looking at finding the mean and knowing how to interpret a age of ranges as just one single representative age for that range of ages. Okay. So your assignment is going to be 14B.3, problems 1 through 3. So if we take a look at 14B.3, that is on page 393, and you're just going to do all the problems within that particular problem set. So this is page 393. If you have any questions, please email me, and all of this will be due Friday, all 3 assignments. All right, you guys, hope things are going well. Take care.